In the history of American crime, few names send chills down the spine like John Wayne Gacy. Known as the Killer Clown, Gacy lived a double life. By day, a respected businessman and community volunteer who performed at children's parties as Pogo the Clown. But by night, he transformed into one of the most terrifying serial killers in U.S. history. Between 1972 and 1978, Gacy murdered at least 33 young men and boys, burying many of them beneath his suburban home in Chicago. This is the dark and twisted story of John Wayne Gacy, his childhood, his crimes, his capture, and his lasting impact on American culture. If you would like to support us, would you like the video and subscribe to our channel? We need your support. John Wayne Gacy was born on March 17, 1942, in Chicago, Illinois. His father, John Stanley Gacy, was an abusive alcoholic who frequently belittled and beat his son. His mother, Marion, tried to protect him, but she too lived in fear of her husband's rage. As a child, Gacy was described as overweight, sickly, and desperate for his father's approval. He suffered from blackouts caused by an undiagnosed heart condition and spent much of his childhood feeling isolated. His father often called him dumb and sissy, planting the seeds of deep insecurity that would haunt Gacy throughout his life. Despite this troubled upbringing, Gacy tried to build a normal life. He worked in politics during his early 20s, married, and even opened a successful construction business. To outsiders, he seemed like the perfect neighbor. But beneath this facade, a monster was waiting to emerge. One of the strangest aspects of Gacy's story is his role as a clown. In the early 1970s, he created the character Pogo the Clown and would volunteer at charity events, parades, and children's hospitals. Clowns are supposed to bring joy and laughter, but for Gacy, the costume allowed him to mask his true self. The painted smile hid the darkness inside, and in hindsight, Pogo became a symbol of his disturbing double life. The smiling entertainer by day, the predator by night. The murders begin. Gacy's first known murder occurred in 1972, when he lured a teenage boy to his house and strangled him. Afterward, he buried the body in the crawl space beneath his home. At first, Gacy claimed this killing was an accident, but soon killing became a compulsion. Over the next 6 years, Gacy preyed on vulnerable young men, often runaways or kids looking for work. He promised them jobs with his construction company, lured them back to his home, and then handcuffed them under the guise of showing them a magic trick. Once they were restrained, Gacy revealed his true nature. He would sexually assault, torture, and strangle his victims, sometimes keeping their bodies hidden in his house for days before burying them beneath the floor. The crawl space of Gacy's home became a literal graveyard. By the time investigators uncovered his crimes, 29 bodies were discovered under his house, with others dumped in rivers nearby. The investigation and capture. For years, Gacy managed to evade suspicion. He was known as a successful contractor and an active member of the Democratic Party, even taking photos with First Lady Rosalynn Carter in 1978. No one suspected the cheerful clown of hiding dozens of corpses beneath his feet. That all changed in December 1978, when a 15-year-old boy named Robert Piest went missing after telling his mother he was going to talk to a contractor about a job. That contractor was John Wayne Gacy. Police quickly grew suspicious. They searched Gacy's home and discovered items belonging to missing boys, including wallets and IDs. The smell of decomposition from the crawl space was undeniable. When investigators finally dug beneath the house, they made a horrifying discovery. Body after body, all buried in shallow graves. The nightmare of John Wayne Gacy was finally exposed. Trial and execution. In 1980, Gacy went on trial for the murders of 33 young men and boys. His defense team attempted to argue insanity, pointing to his childhood abuse and claims of multiple personalities, including his clown persona. But the jury was not convinced. After weeks of graphic testimony and evidence, Gacy was convicted on all counts. He was sentenced to death. For 14 years, Gacy sat on death row at Menard Correctional Center. During that time, he gave interviews, painted disturbing portraits of clowns, and maintained that he was not guilty of all the murders. His paintings of Pogo the Clown would later sell for thousands of dollars, fueling debate over whether killers should profit from their crimes. On May 10, 1994, John Wayne Gacy was executed by lethal injection. His final words were chillingly casual: "Kiss my ass." Legacy and cultural impact. The story of John Wayne Gacy shocked the nation. The idea that a friendly neighbor, a clown who entertained children, could also be a sadistic serial killer shattered America's sense of safety. Gacy's crimes inspired countless documentaries, books, and films. His killer clown image even influenced horror characters like Pennywise from It and the urban legend of evil clowns that persists today. But beyond the media, his crimes left deep scars on the families of the victims. For them, Gacy is not a pop culture icon, he is a reminder of lives stolen far too soon. John Wayne Gacy's story is a chilling reminder that evil can hide behind the most ordinary of masks. He was a businessman, a volunteer, a clown, and a murderer. His crimes forced America to confront the terrifying reality that monsters are not always strangers lurking in the dark. Sometimes they are the smiling neighbor next door.